do. Okay. And then what do we do? So let's go into our audio manager and figure out where is it? Collectibles? Huh. Okay, well, let's jump into the fire shield scene. And we'll create another scene next door to it. And I guess we'll just call this an area 2D. So the thing about fire is it doesn't collide with anything, right? So I'm not going to make it a kinematic body. I'm just going to make it an area 2D. And we're going to call this a fireball. And we're going to need a sprite for that. And I'm just going to copy in our icon. Let's just duplicate the icon and we'll just say it's a fireball.png, and we'll grab this fireball and we'll just drag it into our fire shield. Cool. Right. And then this fireball can be applied as our texture like so. Cool. Now I'd also like to have some particle effects. So I'm going to look at our particles. We were using a CPU particles before because I wanted to target the web, although it's not very performant. So I think I'm just going to focus on targeting mobile to begin with, and then we will look at a web-based version later. Okay, so what is happening? A material to process particles not assigned over here is imprinted. Okay. So I guess we'll create a particles material. And right, so we've now got our particles come in here. And like any good fire, it's going to be a bit orange. Okay, and we probably want a gradient texture for this. Okay. So I'm going to swap the black and the white because smoke gets more black, right, as it goes. So we're going to start off as a sort of fiery yellow, white and yellow. And then we're going to transition into more of a red before ending like so, right? Okay. So not sure we need quite as many particles there, and they don't need to last that long. Maybe, yeah, we may as well have them, yep, a little bit. Okay. So I wonder if we can reuse this fireball texture as the particle. And maybe give them a bit of a trail. Okay. So this is looking a little bit weird. Because we're applying a gravity to them. Well, that's quite cool. And I'd like them to have a radial velocity instead. And we want their direction to have full flatness. Okay. So we want full spread, but for some reason that linear velocity doesn't seem to be making a difference. Okay. There we go. Okay, I see what's happening. So we're going to need like way more. There we go. So those trails are probably a bit too much. And maybe the lifetime is a bit too much as well. Cool. I'm making a game, yeah. It's sort of like a split screen game for mobile, which sounds a bit odd. Hold on, let me just figure out flags. Okay, so we want our emission shape. Yeah, I think our emission shape is fine. And I'd like our scale to change over time as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off quite small, grow up towards the middle, and then dip down. Oops. Okay. And it feels like maybe there's a little bit too much acceleration around the radio. We could actually do something like this, minus 400. And then that's going to keep the particles. Yeah. So, hold on. Let me just save our fireball, and I'll show you how the game works quickly. and I've tested it. It does actually work. So if you imagine this is a mobile game screen, so each player has 3 touch buttons, and if you push both left and right at the same time, you go forward. So basically you just got 2 engines, left and right, and they're actually proper physical engines. So when you turn the right engine on, I'm not actually spinning you. I'm simulating the physics as if the engine is propelling you from that point, which is kind of interesting. So both players get their own screen. They can zoom around the map, pick up. They've got 30 seconds to pick up stars, which are kind of like lives. Think rings in Sonic, right? You've got 30 seconds to pick up your stars and weapons. And then the weapons respawn. But then once 30 seconds is up, you battle it out and you start to lose your stars. And stars can randomly respawn, or they will just die. So there's a 50% chance that stars will get permanently destroyed. But you don't know which is which, and they respawn at random times. So that's something we did yesterday. Yeah. And so essentially you both hold one side of the mobile phone and you play it like a 2-player Game Boy. If you can imagine that. It's kind of silly, but it works. So that's what we're building. Okay, I think maybe what we want is we want this to actually be quite big. Okay. And I might actually bring that lifetime down even further. Okay. And we probably can bring, I think maybe bring that speed scale down. Okay. Alright. Now if I take this sprite and if I grab its modulate and just make it maybe like an orange. Okay. So those numbers in the middle of the screen represent so the red number is how many stars the red player has. The green is how many the green player has. And then the grey number in the middle is how many stars are unclaimed in the level, right? So I'm not sure if it's still working, but at the beginning of the level there should be quite a high number. So there's 43 stars in this level. And as we collect those stars, that number is going to go down. And I think, unless I broke it yesterday, once the phase changes, all the stars fade away and the grey number should actually disappear. So it should just go back down to the 2 players. Yeah, so you can see now it's 12 versus 5. And there's no grey number in the middle, because in the second phase the stars disappear. Okay, so I'm definitely not going to make this perfect. I just want a very rough effect so that we can move forward. The hue variation could be kind of fun.